This tutorial is for 6th grade, Module 4, Lesson 4. In this lesson, we're going to look at two algebraic expressions and evaluate them to see if they're equivalent or not. In my example, I have two expressions. I have x plus 5 and 5 plus x. We're going to substitute the number 2 for the x in both expressions to see if we come up with the same answer. So instead of saying x plus 5, I'm now going to do 2 plus 5. Where I had the x, I now replace it with a 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. I'm going to do the same thing for 5 plus x. Where I had the x, I replace it with a 2. 5 plus 2 is also 7. So right now, I got the same answer for both of those expressions. It's good practice to try two examples before we decide whether or not the expressions are equivalent. So now, instead of putting a 2 in place of the x, I'm going to put 13 in place of the x. So I substituted the 13 for the x here. 13 plus 5 is 18. And I'll do that for the second expression. We substitute the 13 for the x here. 5 plus 13 is also 18. So yes, we got the same answer again, and this tells me that these two expressions, x plus 5 and 5 plus x, are indeed equivalent because we get the same answer no matter what we substitute the x for in each expression. Here's another example. This time my expressions are x plus 3 and 3x, which means 3 times x. The first example, I'm going to substitute the 0 for the x. So instead of x plus 3, I'll write 0 plus 3, and I'll get an answer of 3. And instead of 3 times x, I will do 3 times 0, which is an answer of 0. So right now, you can see that I did not come up with the same answer. We'll do another example just to prove this. So this time we're going to put a 2 in place of the x. 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 3 times 2 equals 6. And again, my answers do not match. Since I don't come up with the same answer, these two expressions are not equivalent. So again, it helps to test the expressions with two substitutions for the variables just to prove the point.